Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Skyla Ramirez. Welcome to our Yoga for Everybody session today. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's go ahead and begin with some mindful breathing today. And you may want to lie down on your back with the knees bent if you've been experiencing any excessive stress from this past holiday week. Of course, you can also stay seated if you notice that you're able to catch the breath a little more effectively this way. I am going to go ahead and stay seated today as we begin with a three-part breath and equal ratio breathing this morning. So if you are lying down, I do recommend that you bend your knees. This is the quickest way to soften some of the muscles that might cause tension in your ribs or your back, and it could help you to access the breath a lot easier. If you're seated, maybe elevate the hips a little bit. No matter where you are, let's place one hand up on the center of the chest, and we'll place our other hand down on our belly. So already we're able to intimately connect to the breath in the body in two unique places. So in a three-part breath, we're breathing down into the belly region, and then the breath is going to build, passing through the center ribs, passing through the center chest, and then the breath comes up to the heart. That is our third and final chamber that we fill with the breath. As we exhale, we relax the chest, and then we relax the belly. So as you work on a three-part breath, I recommend at first that you just simply focus on inhaling into the belly, build that breath, lift your chest at the heart, and then as you exhale, relax your heart and relax your belly. So really you're just focusing on two places, but traditionally this is called a three-part breath. That third part is between the two hands, and it's not really in the center of the body as much as it expands out under your armpits. And I know all of you in class today are really familiar with a lot of these breathing techniques. So I'm just going to encourage you to focus on that center point as well, where you expand the breath out from the sides of the body. So as we begin with that inhale, we breathe into the belly, and the belly pushes out in front of us. And then as the breath builds, feel it moving to the sides of your armpit, and try to flare the armpits out to the side. And then bring the breath up to the chest and lift the heart. And when you exhale, relax your heart, pause, pull the ribs in, and finally pull the navel into the spine. So it's three parts. And now we'll begin to count the breath, every inhale and every exhale, so that it is an equal ratio breath in volume. Inhaling through your nose as much as possible. Let's breathe into the belly. Inhale 1, through the ribs 2, up to the heart 3, and then exhale, relax from the heart 3, pull in the ribs 2, pull in the belly 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, exhaling 3, 2, 1. Let's keep that rhythm and maybe close your eyes or just let the gaze rest past your cheeks. And notice if you want to count a little faster or even a little slower. Let's practice this for maybe the next 3 to 5 quiet breaths. I'm not going to count it, so there's no sense of urgency, there's no distraction. Just take your sweet time to tune into a three-part rhythm that you feel is authentic to the comfort in your body with your breath. Let's try that now. Now notice if maybe we can encourage the breath to stay only in the first 2 parts, maintaining stillness in the chest. Inhaling into the belly, let the breath rise up to the chest space, expand at the side ribs, pause right there, embrace stillness in your heart. And then exhale, feel the ribs contracting in. And last of all, soften and maybe even pull the belly in so that we squeeze out every bit of breath, every bit of tension that might be hiding in the body. We're going to simply let it go with the breath. Let's try that. Just a couple of more easy inhales and exhales. Breathe into the belly. Breathe out to the side ribs. Exhale, side ribs contract, and then belly contracts. Inhaling belly to the ribs, pause right there, stillness in the heart space. And then exhale, contract the ribs and contract your belly. From wherever you are, let's all take our time and come up into seated. If you're lying on your back, you may want to let your knees roll over to one side. Lie on your side for a moment, knees in, reset the spine, let the blood pressure stabilize. And then slowly use your top arm to come up and bring yourself up into an easy seated position. From easy seated, any easy seated position, we could sit in this crisscross legged position, crisscross applesauce, also known as Sukhasana, easy seated. Or you can have your knees up in front of the body. So if you're noticing that opening the knees strains your hips in any way, that's very common in yoga, very common. It just means that you might have some tight muscles on your inner thighs. If you're feeling tight in your inner thighs, bring those knees up and just have a nice tall seat with the body. Let's take our hands on top of our knees, no matter where those legs are today. And we're just gonna rock forward and back a few times with the breath. We may even want to close our eyes. And if you get a little dizzy with this or feel a little off center, that is very common. This is a movement where we are purposefully taking our bodies off center. If you start to feel really dizzy at all, maybe just practice a little moderation with that movement. Conserve your body's vital energetic resources by making this movement just a little bit smaller. We're just going to keep going forward and back with the breath. Now, if you want to add in a breath to this, as you exhale, go forward and maybe open your throat and almost give like a lion's breath, almost a lion's breath. When you come up, inhale through the nose, lean back just a little bit from center, and then come forward, open the mouth. Just a few more like this. One more, back and forward, inhale back, exhale forward. Now let's bring it up to center and maybe move with as little movement as possible. Try the smallest range of motion as possible so that you are refining the movement, and eventually you find where you are seated completely still, feeling completely centered. Now, let's just let the weight go side to side. So some people like to move to each side, and maybe you lift your hip a little bit off the floor when you go from side to side. Another option is to sway to one side and then press the opposite hip down. That way we start to work a nice big stretch onto the side trunk of the body. So by keeping the hips, both hips pressing into the floor, you're probably going to have more sensations of a stretch. But of course, you could always lift the hips and possibly create a little more comfort for the body that way. I recommend you let those hips come up if you've had any back pain. Let them just sort of seesaw a little bit. Now, just like before, we are purposefully taking ourselves off center. We are purposefully taking ourselves out of balance. Now, while we're doing this, let's refine it just a little bit. So no matter how big the movement is, try only to move with about a third of your effort. So notice what happens When you move with less effort here, naturally the hips are going to stay grounded. We might start to feel more like a sway through the trunk of the body, like one of those wind socks that you see, one of those like straight up and down wind socks blowing. So just let the trunk of your body kind of be nice and loose, like a wind sock. Let's make that movement even smaller. So now as we make the movement be even smaller, we may not be able to even see the body moving. Instead, it's the sense of energetic activation in the body. The energy is dynamic. It doesn't have a lot of inertia to it, so we're not having to physically shift the whole body, but rather we're just employing our ability to feel movement without having to move. Eventually coming to a still point. Let's lengthen through the crown of the head. On your inhale, lift the chin, push your hips back, pull the ribs up, big inhale. And now on the exhale, round your spine, stretch the arms out in front of you and drop the chin. So it's like a seated cow and a seated cat, but we're really exaggerating the length in the spine that opens up the throat. Inhale through center, pull the ribs forward, lift the ribs, open your throat, look up, big inhale. And now exhale, round the spine and stretch the arms out. So we're getting a big stretch of the muscles behind the heart. Let's do one more. Inhale forward with the ribs. Pull up through the ribs, lift the chin. Big inhale through the nose. And now exhale, stretch the arms out, round the spine, and bring the chin into the chest. Opening up the back of the spine. When you're ready, let's come to neutral. And we're going to take this into a much bigger movement with the trunk of the body and the arms. Take both your hands over to the right side of your body. As you inhale, reach those arms up to the sky. And then exhale, we're coming down on the left, rounding the spine, and just grazing the hands over the earth. Inhale on the right. Lift the arms, a beautiful expression of a sunrise. Big inhale, a little twist to the left, and now exhale, sunset. Sweep those arms over the floor and look down at the floor as well. Inhale, rising up. We're going to do about 6 to 8 of these to limber up the spine and generate all of those healthy fluids that help with healthy spine mobility. Inhale into the nose, big breath in. If you want, exhale with that claw breath. Raise those hands over the floor. Inhale, sunrise. It was a beautiful sunrise this morning, everyone. The sky was pink and orange. Exhale, sunset. At least 1 or 2 more. Let the breath guide you. And in any cases where the breath is shallow, just keep breathing. Whatever you do, breathe through it. As long as we're breathing, we're doing yoga. When you're ready, switch sides with this. Let's take the hands down over to the left and maybe even look over your left shoulder. Inhale, big sunrise expression, arms extending overhead. Little trunk rotation to the right. Exhale, drop your chin. Round the spine and let those hands just gently graze over the earth. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, down. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale from the throat. At least maybe 2 or 3 more. Again, no rush, especially with these trunk rotations and that bit of flexion in the spine. We're working every single muscle from the crown of the head through the tailbone, and even the muscles in the legs are working while we're stretching in a seated position. Let's just do 1 more. Exhale all the way around, hands grazing over the earth. Inhale, arms come up overhead, lace the fingertips and invert the palms. Press the hands in front of your body. And maybe take those hands a little bit up, possibly directly over the crown of the head into your palm gesture. Let's lean over to the left, pull up from that right armpit, breathe into the upper right lung, exaggerate the breath, try to push it up against the side ribs, deep under that armpit region. When you're ready, bring it through center. If you get a little warm there, that's natural. We're stimulating digestion, metabolism, liver. Inhale as you lean over to the right, pull up from that left armpit. Breathe into the upper left lung and really feel the breath from deep in the heart space, pushing up against the armpit, stretching out your ribs. One more big inhale. When you're ready, bring it to center. Let's bring our hands down. From here, uncross the ankles slowly. Maybe shake off those knees a little bit. Let's come around to all fours. The knees sway over to one side. And we're coming into all fours position for a traditional cat and cow flow. Go ahead and notice what your foundation is. If you want to have less pressure in your hands or wrist, coming down to the elbows is an option, or make a fist with your thumbs forward. This is a interesting alternative that can work to stabilize the wrist joints. From here, on an inhale, we're dropping our belly, hinging from the hips and shoulders. We look forward into cow. And on the exhale, we're pulling the navel up and rounding the spine for cat pose. Inhale, drop the belly. Gently lift and extend through the head and the neck. On the exhale, pull the navel up, contract the abdomen, and drop the head and the neck. Let's try just a few more. Inhale, lengthen. We already did a lot of this from seated today. Exhale, round. Just a little different now. The hip is just a little different. The legs and the back are in just a little different position. Inhale, lengthen. And now exhale, round. From here, let's come to all fours. And from all fours, we're just going to move the tailbone left and right. This is known as wagging the tail. So we're working on isolating the muscles that are between your ribs and your hips. Let the tailbone tilt over to one side. Maybe come to neutral. Think of where your right heel is and think about pointing the tailbone towards the right heel, just a little bit. Bring that tailbone to neutral, aligning the energy in the tailbone and spine. Now tilt that tailbone towards your left heel. Mindfully feeling where the body parts are in space and time, then initiating the movement. Thinking about where is the right heel, tilt the tailbone to the right, bring it to neutral. Thinking about where is the left heel, let's tilt the tailbone to the left. Bring the tailbone to neutral, and now just flip the tailbone back so it's like cow pose, but only with the lower body. Pull the tailbone in. There probably is not going to be as much movement here when we don't round the spine. So keeping the upper back flat, we're just moving from the hips. Tailbone back, tailbone in. One more time, tailbone back, and now tailbone in. From here, let's find neutral spine. Go ahead and let those hips sink back onto the heels. Stretch the arms out, child's pose, Balasana. Exhale from the throat with a ha breath. Let's try it together. Big inhale. Relax the jaw. Ha. Two more. Big breath in. Don't be shy. I can't hear you anyway, so don't be shy. Big inhale. Ha breath. Ha. One more. Big inhale. Ha breath. Ha. When you're ready, you can hold it here or go ahead and shift forward. Let's tuck our toes and lift the hips, finding a downward facing dog. We may want to go ahead and pedal through the soles of the feet while we're here, or you can stretch one leg back at a time. We're just working a nice big stretch into the calf muscles. Let's try one more on each side. From wherever you are, let's take a moment, look towards your hands. We're stepping one foot forward at a time. From here, slowly make your way up into standing, and let's find mountain pose for our bodies today. Let me see if I can get just a little better camera angle here for us today. Oops. All right. Yay! I think I can see my head now. This is good. From here, let's take our feet out just a little wider than the width of the hips. So maybe if you find the edges of your hips, you feel like your legs are coming out at an angle just a little bit. Let's start by placing the hands on the side waist, maybe on your belly, maybe across your chest. Go ahead and look down and let your body sway left and right a little bit. Similar to what we just did seated, we're moving our body through center, off center. So all the weight is going to shift into one side, and then we mindfully shift to the other side, slowly moving through center through a point where the body is completely balanced, and then we take the body off center. If you want to match a breath to this, inhale, come through center. At the top of the breath, you're at that centered, most balanced point in your body, and then exhale, shift it over and pause. Just let the weight really anchor down into the earth. And notice that your body is still supported. The body is still anchored even when it's not completely balanced or centered. There's still that support and security. Come through center, exhale, shift, little weight into one side of the body. Maybe you feel a stretch on the outside of your hip. Come through center, other side. Now let's make that movement a little smaller. So maybe just half of our range of motion so that we feel that there is some pretty steady pressure in the soles of the feet while we sway left and right. Ultimately, this is an essential exercise that we use to maintain healthy balance, healthy messages from the nervous system that communicate to the body that help maybe prevent us from tripping or falling. Let's make this movement a little smaller. Come to a centered point, and now open the hands. Let's sweep the arms up and overhead, at least 3 sweeping breaths. Big inhale. And then exhale, take it back. Big inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale back. Just one more big breath in. And now exhale back. From wherever you are, take the feet out just wider than the hips again. Take your left toe and turn it out to the left. Keep your right toe forward. I'm going to go ahead and mirror teach this. So take your left toe out to the side and keep your right toe forward. From here, let's bring our hands to the hips to stay balanced. And go ahead and bend that left knee. As you inhale, sweep the arms overhead, straighten that left leg, maybe even lean back and look over that right armpit or under your right armpit. Exhale, bring the arms down, slowly bend that left knee. Let's try that a few more times. Inhale, raising the body up, arms overhead, left leg straight, looking under that right armpit. Exhale, bring it down, bend the left knee and look over the left hand. So there's going to be a little more movement with the head with this one. Inhale, straightening the left leg, arms up, look under the right armpit. Exhale, lower the hands, look over the left fingertips. Let's try that one more time. Inhale, tracking with the hands, moving the head. Exhale, warrior two position. From here, let's turn the left palm up. Bring your right hand onto your waist. Reach straight up towards the sky with that left hand. And keep bending that left knee. So as we're reaching up towards the sky, what we're going to do there is breathe mostly up into your upper left lung. That upper left lung is going to be where we have the most open space to invite the breath into the body. That's where we're able to maximize the breath. You can look straight up at that extended left arm, or you can look back over the right shoulder. We're holding it there for one more big breath. Big inhale. And now exhale the side angle pose. Let's take our left hand or elbow onto your left thigh. If you come down onto the elbow, that is going to be a little more demanding of the muscles in your back and your hips. So if you know that your body is having any hip or back pain, if you know that there's pain in your hips or your backs, take the left hand onto your left thigh and keep that spine a little more lifted. Let's extend that right arm out, straight out of the shoulder. And as you inhale, roll that right shoulder back, maybe even look up. So it's a little bit more of a trunk rotation or a twist here. Now breathe mostly into the upper right lung. Big inhale and exhale. Two more. Big breath in. Maybe twist or maybe open a little more with the inhale. Big breath. And now relax. Let's slowly rise up to warrior two. Hands to the heart. Pivot that left toe forward and turn the right toe out. We're finding that warrior two flow, bending the right knee, looking beyond the right fingertips. On the next inhale, we're sweeping the arms up, straightening our right leg. Maybe lean back a little bit, lean towards the left and look under your left armpit. On your exhale, return to warrior two, hands coming down, healthy bend in that right knee, looking over the right fingertips. Let's flow that with the breath if possible. If your breath makes you feel rushed, just keep moving. We don't have to follow the breath. If you want to try it, inhale, arms up, lean back, look under the left armpit. Exhale, arms down, warrior two. A few more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Couple more. Big breath in. Exaggerate the inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, bring it up. And exhale. Let's take our left hand to the left waist. Turn the right palm up. Try to keep that right knee really still. Right palm up without moving your waist or the knee. Reach straight up with that right arm. Reverse warrior. We can look up. That's very traditional. Let's exaggerate the breath in that upper right lung. Inhale in through the nose as much as possible. If you're having any tightness in your back or any tension in your body, let it go. Let that breath go. Have a sigh of relief. When you're ready, let's find warrior two. Taking this into side angle pose, beginning with the right hand on the right thigh. Let those hips sweep back, adding in a lovely stretch to the outer left hip. Now, this is going to be what is considered to be the safest place for the spine, for the low back, for the sciatic nerve. If you want to experiment, bring your right elbow onto the right thigh. Now, maybe stay there for 2 or 3 breaths. If you're kind of like having feelings and you go, is this my body saying no? Is this just a stretch? Just breathe it out, maybe 3 breaths. I usually say by that 3rd breath, if you think, this might not be good for me, then get out of the pose. It's not gonna get better. Chances are it's just not gonna get better by that 3rd breath. So come out of the pose if you're having any pain at all. We're keeping a healthy bend in that right knee. Let's extend the left arm out, straight out from the shoulder. Inhale into that upper left lung and draw your left shoulder back. So we're adding in a little bit of a rotation. Try squeezing your buttocks muscles. Imagine that your knees and thighs are rolling out, but then pull the muscles up in your pelvic floor while you continue to revolve through the trunk of the body. Big inhale into that upper left lung, big breath in and smile, big breath in. Exhale from the throat. This is a big stretch inside of the right thigh to the top left shoulder. It's stretching the psoas muscle in addition to a lot of fascia. Big inhale. When you're ready, slowly lower that top arm. Let's give the spine some support. Push off of that right leg. And now turn that right toe in. Let's heel toe our feet together and give your body a nice strong stance. So you might want to kick the feet off, but eventually find that both feet are on the floor and your body is finding its strongest, proudest expression of a mountain. Let's roll the shoulders down and back. Maybe we feel stronger with the hands at the heart. When you're ready, let your weight shift over just into one foot. I'm shifting into my right foot and I'm bending my left knee. With that left knee bent, I'm just going to simply invite that left foot to maybe hover over the floor. And then we can always open that left knee out to the side, finding tree pose. Now there's no right or wrong or better place for the body to be. There's nothing to prove in the physical posture. Instead, just experiment and notice, where do you feel your best? Where are you feeling your best in the pose? And maybe feeling your best is not necessarily being completely still or completely balanced. That's a misconception that when we don't move, that's the better pose. Actually, we want to be able to move a little bit. And maybe it's possible that we feel our best when we test our balance a little bit. That's where we build resiliency. So find where you feel your best. In what way could this posture express a little more joy, a little more of a childlike character, a playfulness? Staying for maybe 2 more easy breaths. Inhale, easy. Exhale. When it feels right for your body, let's let that left leg come down. Maybe shake off the legs. Let's take our time to establish a strong mountain stance first. Strong mountain. Shift into the left leg, bend the right knee. Both hands can stay beside you at the hips, over the heart, at the heart. Let's lift our right leg, knowing that we don't have to bring our foot off the floor. We might want to keep just the ball of the foot or the tippy toe on the floor. We're opening that left knee out to the side and we're allowing that left foot to simply rest to the inside of our standing leg You can reach down and give that leg a little boost. Just be sure, if you reach down, be sure that you stand back up. Now notice the hands. How can this become a little more playful? Notice that the body is curious about movement, and there's nothing to be afraid of here. You have a wall next to you, a chair. We have lots of props nearby that are going to support us in our exploration. Is it possible that the body wants to assume a different physical position? We can change our mind at any time, making the pose just a little more playful. Are you open to change it up a little bit? Change it just a little bit. Let go of perfection with this pose. Let's stay for maybe 2 more breaths. When it feels right for your body, let that foot come down. Again, we're going to kick it off, and we're going to find a strong stance. If you want to grab a sip of water at this time, go ahead, grab a sip of water. We have been moving for quite some time. We are making our way down onto the floor. To come down safely, let's hinge from the hips. Take one foot back and lower a knee, and then take that other foot back. Let's come around onto our sides in a side lying position. And from there, we're able to safely roll down onto our backs. Let's see. All right. So this lying down on the side first, and then going on to our backs. This is a technique that we use to prevent fluctuations in blood pressure that could be unsafe. It's also used to help with a vertigo. So if you've been getting dizzy for any reason, just take your time coming down to the floor. Lie on your side first, and then eventually roll onto your back. I am using a yoga block today. You don't have to have yours. If you have just a blanket or a pillow nearby, you could do that instead. From wherever you are, let's keep those knees bent, seeing that the knees are at hips width distance. I'm taking my yoga block between the knees. Naturally for me, the yoga block makes my feet a little less than hips width. And it might be the same for you as well. You can always turn that block out in a different width to accommodate the comfort in your body. We're going to work with some mindful breathing matched up with contractions in your hips and thighs. These are specific breathing techniques matched up with contractions in the lower body to help to stabilize your low back and pelvis muscles. In the process of stabilizing the pelvis and the low back, we're also working on stabilizing the muscles that promote healthy bladder control. So prevention of incontinence, and also addressing like prolapse issues with the muscles in this lower pelvis region. So the first thing we want to do is find the breath. And to find the breath, let's place both hands on our bellies. As we inhale, let's feel the stomach pushing up. Inhale, belly rising. Exhale, belly comes down. Inhale, belly up. Exhale, belly down. All right, let's try that maybe 5 more times. And you can inhale through the nose, exhale in any way you want. Rather than focusing on the breath being in the nose or the mouth, focus on the movement in the belly. That is essential to protecting the spine. Inhale, belly up. Exhale, relax the belly. A couple more. Now let's add in a unique contraction to this. Inhale, belly up. Squeeze your inner thighs. Imagine you have a yoga block or put a pillow between your knees and just squeeze in. And exhale while you're squeezing. Relax the thighs. Inhale, belly up. Contract the knees and thighs. Exhale with the contraction. Relax the knees. Inhale, belly up. Contract the knees, belly down. Relax, belly up. Contract, belly down. A few more like this. Relax, belly up. Contract, belly down. Relax, belly up. Contract, belly down. When you're ready, soften the whole body. So we're going to employ just a little bit more movement with that breath and with that contraction. Place the hands down beside your body, palms down just outside the hips. Thighs and knees are soft. Inhale, lift the hips, belly up, hips up. Now squeeze the knees, belly down, hips down. Relax the knees. Inhale, lift the hips, belly up. Contract the inner knees, hips down, belly down. Flowing bridge with layers of coordinated breathing and movement. Relax. Inhale, lift the hips, belly up. Contract the knees, exhale down. Let's do at least 2 more. Relax the knees, hips and belly up. Contract, take it down. Relax, last one, bring it up. Contract, bring it down. Now, if you have your yoga block, pillow, or blanket, go ahead and take it out from your knees. Let's lift the hips and slide that underneath your hips or your low back region. You can always keep your hips flat on the floor here. From here, we're lifting one leg and then the other, extending our legs straight up to the sky. So you may or may not have a prop under your hips. There are some specific physical and energetic benefits to lifting the hips up. In particular, physically, we are working with gravity. When we lift the hips, we're getting more of the lymphatic fluids to return to the trunk of the body, so we're able to flush out toxins from the body. But this can still be happening when your back is flat on the floor as well. No matter where you are, go ahead and point and flex the toes. Let's get some of those muscles moving in the ankles and fluids draining away from the feet. Then go ahead and circle those feet as well. If you want, take those feet out so they're maybe as wide as your shoulders. You may want to put the hands on the sides of your thighs or behind the knees. Let's start to bend those knees in towards the armpits, finding happy baby pose. And your happy baby pose might have the hips elevated, or again, you could be on flat on your back on the floor. You can take it into a gentle rocking motion, left and right. Just be sure that if you have something under your back, that it's not putting excessive pressure or creating pain in your body. Just a very conservative rocking motion, left and right. From here, we're going to take about a minute for you to continue to personalize your practice. So think about what your body might need to safely come out of this pose. First, let's lower our feet down to the floor, and we're lifting our hips to take any props away from your back. Go ahead and let your body move in any natural way. Notice if it feels good to go into a big twist, or maybe your body wants to stretch out like a stick. Maybe you need shoulder stand. Just be careful. Shoulder stand is considered a little dangerous for the shoulders, the neck, and the upper back region. Let your body move in any natural way for at least another minute. And think about the movement preparing you for stillness. So any type of movement is welcome here. We've all had very different days. We've all had very different weeks, different activities in our lives. So move in any way that feels natural. Move away from pain. Whatever you do, move towards comfort. When you're ready, let yourself be still, and let's practice just a short guided breathing meditation. From your still point, notice if you want to take the hands onto the center of your chest or down onto your belly. And just notice when you inhale through your nose or your mouth, where is the breath going? Where does it go? It's usually going to favor your chest or your belly. There's always exceptions to this. So just notice, where is the breath going? And don't fight that. Let's meet the body where it is today in its own healing journey. As we inhale, we're breathing in prana. We are drawing in the life force, and that energy is going where it wants to go with its own authentic and innate intelligence. We trust the breath to move into those places that require some sort of healing today. Letting go of the notion that anything might be wrong or broken. We are constantly recycling and regenerating on a cellular level, and the breath is essential to nourish that revitalizing process or that regenerative process. So inhale, let the breath go, let it go to your heart, let it go to your belly, let it be whatever it wants to be. Now notice as each moment is passing, notice what your experience is with each bit of breath. And at what point maybe do you say, I feel full with the breath, or I feel satisfied with the breath? Noticing that sensation of satisfaction, that sensation of fullness that comes with something as simple and precious as your breath. At that point where you feel satisfied, where you experience that fullness with the breath, pause and maybe just affirm, I have all that I need right here, right now. This feeling of having all that we need, completely provided for, complete satisfaction with the breath, with the experience of being alive. How we can sometimes just take that for granted, right? For any of us that have experienced grave illness, or maybe you've been on a journey with someone who's had an illness or a hardship in their lives, sometimes we just forget how much gratitude there is to be experienced just by experiencing life, just being alive, just breathing. How quickly we go from gratitude to granted, taking it for granted. Embrace the breath. Gratitude for the breath. Let's take maybe just the next quiet minute, immersed in each moment, in that spirit of gratitude for where we are in this life. We're able to see our loved ones, whether it's virtually or in person. We have food, we have shelter. We have an 80-degree day in December ahead of us. Breathe easy. What is that fullness? What is that satisfaction? Feel gratitude. from this place, the embodiment of santosha, complete contentment, complete satisfaction with your breath. Embrace stillness. We're closing from this place today. I encourage you to just lay here a little longer if you can. You don't have to jump up. If you'd like, join me by bringing the hands over your chest and just feeling the heart space, anahata. All the peace, all the love, all the power to heal. We embody that with the heart's energy. From here today, we close in our spirit, our attitude of gratitude. I thank you all so much for being here with me today. Have a happy new year, everyone. I will see you back here for our Yoga for Everybody class on January 11th. Have a wonderful rest of your year. Stay healthy, everyone. Stay hydrated and keep hugging and loving everybody that you can. Namaste, y'all. Have a great day.